All right, have and have not fans. Now, here's another fun video because I think this is one of these things where, you know what, let's kind of step away from the whole is Wyatt dreaming? Is everybody actually shot? Are they dead? Yada, yada, yada. Let's talk about Candace and Derrick because I feel like not enough people. Well, I mean, to be honest, after that cliffhanger ending, I could definitely see why the rest of the episode kind of went unnoticed because literally the beginning of the episode with the shootout at David's house, that was completely overshadowed by the shooting at the Crier mansion. Oh, well, excuse me, at Catherine's house. That literally blown away is not the phrase I want to use right now, but I think that we should definitely talk about the Candace and Hannah moment because at the core, it was a matter of, you know what, Derrick is your father, don't tell your brother. Now the question is Candace going to do her own investigation, if you will, and find out who Derrick David is, where he lives, and then go confront him herself? Now I'm not saying she's going to kill Derrick or anything, but I think if you looked at my video about will Candace keep the money, I kind of talked about, and I think I mentioned this in the Are the Criers Really Dead video. What if Derrick comes over to Hannah's house that night because he gets the news about, the Criers being dead, and he knows that Hannah isn't going to answer the phone, so he rushes over there, and he'll meet Benny at the door, and then Benny will be pissed, but then Derrick literally tells Hannah what happened, despite the fact that he knows she doesn't want to have anything to do with him, but he knows that Catherine and Hannah are close, so he definitely needs to tell her. Let's put that aside because I think that would be a great way to reintroduce Derrick, but let's push that to the side because now if Derrick sees Candace, he's going to be confused because that's his daughter. I think that when Catherine said like you're Candace's father, wait, what? Which is kind of interesting because I mean Derrick overheard Candace and Hannah's conversation in the living room while he was doing the dishes. He was crying, so I thought at that moment he knew that he was the father. Interesting. But yeah, and now we know Candace knows Derrick is the guy as well, so they will both be looking at each other differently. Like, it's one thing for Hannah and Derrick to exchange glances, but Derrick and Candace will definitely have looks on their faces that will make Benny really speculate, like, what the hell is going on right now? So I do feel like when it comes down to it, will Candace confront Derrick? And when I say confront, I definitely think that it will be like a 15 minutes, that episode where she made peace with Hannah. I would definitely love to see a conversation between the two. No Benny involved, just Derrick and Candace. Not even Hannah. I think that Candace is going to go out on her own and talk with her father because they can definitely talk with each other, ask those questions. Like, I'm not saying that they need to reconcile in one meeting, but just to kind of talk and get an understanding because Candace is the daughter that Derrick never knew he had, and then Derrick is the father that Candace never knew she had. Well, I mean, she knew she had a father, but didn't know who it was. So I think there'll be a lot of great emotion, and that could have been a definitely good episode for what was tagged as the most emotional season yet. I would definitely love to see a Derrick and Candace conversation where they would actually talk, reflect. I got 3 sons, and I think I did the theory a while back. Wow, for all we know, Candace probably messed around with one of her wouldn't that be a half sibling with one of her half brothers without even knowing it during her prostitution days? I really hope we don't do that. I hope they don't do that. It's a possibility, but I hope they don't do that. Candace kind of thinking like, if I had you in my life, maybe I wouldn't have turned out the way I did now, and this and that. That would have been interesting. Just like, Benny sleeping with whoever in last season, kind of like Tony with his multiple kids by multiple baby mamas. I think that if we have a Derrick and Candace moment, which I definitely think we will, we should definitely have a Tony and Benny moment in the near future. But focusing on Candace and Derrick, what I would like, and it goes back to the will Candace keep the money? Let's say if Candace decides to split town for whatever reason before getting on a plane or, well, I mean, if she keeps that money, she is definitely not getting on the bus. So let's say she decides to split town. She's saying, well, honestly, aside from Arcade, she literally has no one to say goodbye to. aside from her mother, if she wants to do that, because she might do what Benny said and just slip away in the night, because she's doing what people expect of her. But then she's going to figure out that she's more than that. I want to be someone different. So she decides not to do that. And before leaving, she decides to meet Derrick face to face, to make peace with him, get to know him or something like that, if nothing more than just closure. Kind of like in the movie Drumline. Yeah, a major throwback. Right before Nick Cannon's character, I forgot his name, right before Nick Cannon's character went to college, he went to like a bus station or whatever, and his dad, his biological father, was at the ticket window, and he had like a moment where, I'm your son. Is it Devin? Or Devin, Derrick, whatever. Yeah, it's Devin. And it's like, I just wanted to let you know I got accepted into college and I did it without you. So it's almost like, kind of one of those moments where they briefly talk, and maybe after that talk, Candace has a change of heart and decides to give the money back, even though the Criers are probably dead, and stay with her mother and make, just reinvent her life, especially with the fact that Derrick is a deacon at the church and everything. Like, he turned his life around thanks to God. So did Hannah. But Hannah wasn't like a full-on, a thief or a full-on party girl. All she said was like, I was out with my friends having a good time. We all had a little too much to drink. Then I got assaulted later that night. And then I found God through, my pregnancy and whatnot. But it's like, she wasn't living like a criminal life like Derrick and Candace were, is the best way to put it. So I think that the combination of Derrick and Hannah's Christian efforts, because it's like Derrick, believe it or not, I think Derrick is the best example. And I'm not saying that we should undermine what he did in the past, or, victims of assault should instantly forgive their assaulters if they turn their life around. I am not saying that in any way, shape, or form. What I am saying is that Derrick is a prime example of what God can do in your life when you have sinned, you have lived a life of crime, you have drinking, drugs, stealing, and all this stuff. You went to jail, you got out, and he turned his life around. Got married, had 3 sons, deacon in the church. He's doing an honest living. So if he could do that, if God could do that for, I feel like I'm preaching up here using my degrees. If God can do that for Derrick, he's the prime example of what God can do in Candace's life. Mind you, Candace's dirty laundry is literally all over the news. So yeah, it doesn't matter what people say about you, but at least if you can get your heart and soul right with God, then I could definitely see redemption for Candace's character. But at the same time, she can't run away from her problems, mainly because the FBI is investigating her right now. So with everything that Jim told Kyle off screen, with all the FBI knowledge from the surveillance footage of the Artesian Hotel, which I still believe they will put 2 and 2 together and see that Candace was the one that killed Oscar. I think that Candace might be put away for a while, but not to mention the whole Malik thing, because, whether or not you agree with, Malik was actually dead before she set the van on fire, or if you're in the camp of where I'm at, where it's like, well, it makes sense for RK to assume that Malik is dead because he definitely lost a lot of blood from where Hannah stabbed him at. So it's possible that he was like Quincy after, Jeffrey stabbed him so many times. He passed out from blood loss, but eventually regained consciousness before he actually died. So I think that when it comes down to it, I think Malik may have been unconscious. He didn't have a pulse or anything, but when the van was set on fire, that actually cremated him like he was dead. Why we have no follow-up on that makes no damn sense to me, but I definitely think that, Candace probably did more criminal activity than Derrick, but I don't know for sure. But in any case, I think that Candace and Derrick should definitely meet. I think that maybe if Candace decides, instead of skipping town, goes back to Hannah's house, talks with Hannah about, I met my dad and we talked and everything, and he's changed and whatnot. I know I never knew him, and you never knew him really, from where you only knew him from that night where he assaulted you. But remember that you spent time with him, and he's definitely not that man anymore. now, Ma, aren't you the one who's told me to forgive and everything? And I wouldn't say that's a moment where, if let's say you are a fan who's like, Hannah's a hypocritical Christian and whatnot. Well, you see, Hannah, she's throwing the Bible back in your face. You're talking about forgiving people, but you don't want to forgive Derrick. Well, I am in no way, shape, or form saying that Hannah needs to forgive Derrick, because I've never been assaulted, and I definitely am not going to sit behind this microphone and say, even though Derrick assaulted you and got you knocked up and was never in your life because he didn't know you were pregnant, yeah, you should forgive him because he's a completely different person, Hannah. I am not saying that at all. What I am saying is the proof is in the pudding. And I think that even if Derrick and Hannah never get together, I would hope that maybe they made peace with each other. I'm hoping. I'm not saying that she should. I am hoping that is the case, because that's definitely showing God. It's like what she kept saying to Benny. It's like, Benny, I could look in her eyes and I could tell that God hasn't intervened in her life yet. She still has that cold, evil stare and whatnot. But once again, saying that, Candace has the eyes and the nose of the guy that assaulted her, not remembering it. And, Hannah was like, I can't believe he didn't even remember who I was and whatnot. Well, remember, Hannah, he literally said he was, what was he? Did he say he was high or, yeah, he was high or, yeah, he was high when he assaulted her. Then he tried to rob a liquor store to get money to get more drugs. So when he came down, when he was in jail that night after getting arrested, that's when he remembered, like, wait, did I assault someone? But I never knew who it was. I don't remember who it was. So that's why he's been saying for years he prayed for the opportunity to ask for forgiveness. So yeah, I think overall the Candace Derrick meeting could definitely set things in motion for future storylines, because if Catherine is dead, I'm not saying I'm hoping she's dead, but it's like, I don't think she has a reason to go off on Derrick, because she didn't know, he didn't know, and Catherine had nothing to do with what happened that night. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to follow Tinka Sumner and Keith Burke on social media. They are both great people. Keith Burke definitely responds to like every message, a great guy. And I believe he is currently in Atlanta for filming for the upcoming seasons of The Haves and the Have-Nots. So Derrick is still going to be around, meaning that this meeting or this theory video could definitely happen. And if you are new to the channel, welcome to the Haves and Have-Not review, where I review the series. I don't show the series due to copyright. Trying to hit 100,000 subscribers. We are 15,000 subscribers away. So if you're new, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content. And while the Haves and Have-Nots is off the air, I have several discussion videos I want to get done. Any behind the scene footage that is leaked, I will do videos on that. But in the meantime, I'll be covering OWN's new show Ambitions, Greenleaf coming on in September, and whenever Tyler Perry's new shows on BET like The Oval and Sisters and Ruthless, once those shows come out, I'll be talking about them as well. So once again, just because the show The Haves and the Have-Nots is off the air doesn't mean the channel's going to stop. It just means there's going to be more variety. So thanks so much for tuning in. Comment your thoughts, and I'll talk to you soon. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you just saw, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Or if you have anything you would like to add to the video, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you want to keep up with me on social media, go to the description box. All of my links for social media are right there. Also, if you feel like you would like to donate to the channel, make sure to click on the link to PayPal. Any amount helps. $1, $5, $20. As a full-time YouTuber, any support from my fans really does mean a lot to me. Finally, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you're kept up to date on any new content I post to the channel. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in the next video.